Fresh merchandise.
This is no place for a horse.
Laid it. You might have been weirder. I mean, it's not your fault your horse died, you know, unless for some reason you didn't submit to him and that's what caused it. You know what I mean? There you go, yes. Sounds like you're not mixing with the useless. You notice how he misses the biggest part of it? He really missed the biggest part of the suspicion thing, didn't it? You notice how she described it? Nothing to do with sex, nothing to do with things. It's actually about the soul going into heaven. As she said, he is responsible to God for every decision that is made with that thing you're married. She's free and clear. As soon as she's married, any decision that's made gets punished by God, he'll get punished. She's cool. As long as she's submitted to his will when it happened, she's free and clear. So even in that situation, the lane's got the advantage. Oh, yeah, I submit to you everywhere. Did you get in front of God? I told him not to do the Lord, but you know what he's like. That's the biggest killer. That Hep C, man, that's the two you fucking worry about. The others take penicillin for and things like that. They're worried about the AIDS. But you can't cure, but you're stuck for life. It's got the AIDS, the deadly one. How many STDs are deadly? Think about it.
Yeah.
Jeez Christ, it's stupid how they look for the hatred rather than the fatality, isn't it? Oh God! See, they ain't that's the non-Bible people she's going to again now. That is fucking wrong with days, baby! And have you noticed, right, if he made that thing about implication sex and actually going to be forced into sex with that whole moral thingy, have you noticed who's in control of the sex in the relationship? The woman. He hasn't pointed that out, has he? That this is written by the same people for everything else that he points out. He hasn't pointed out that they constantly put the woman in the position of control when it comes to sex. Isn't that unusual? That he doesn't mention those things. He cancels out all the hatred that he says that's on the film, isn't it? Done. Go, it's busy. That was it. What doesn't really happen in the whole movie? Can you even call that a film?
It is, but it is.
But she did. Do Christians often drive by each other?
I mean, I didn't think so.
Also, I'm really annoyed that this anti-vaxxing that used to be the left, now be blamed on the right. That's really crazy. Donald Trump says he's an anti-vaxxer. There's a few magazines say he's an anti-vaxxer, but the anti-vax movement is a left movement. Really crazy. It's all about distrusting big pharma, big government, isn't it? That's not what the right movement is. The right because that's all this big pharma, big government. It's not a right movement. It's a lefty movement that distrusts medicine. When was the last time you saw right wingers homopathy and things like that? That's what I'm saying. It came from them. Keeps happening. It's really weird. They do these things. They're like Vietnam, I think, wasn't it? How suddenly Donald Trump ducked himself in Vietnam, which would have made him a hero at the time, is now seen as an ultra negative. That used to be over there killing those little yellow people and chasing them around with your slave throwers. It's the fool. Yeah, he's the fool in it. I'd say it's not a right movement. The right are the ones who run to get their pills on their money. That's what they used to get much for, weren't it? And it's like... Everything has cancer properties. Everything. Anything that takes your body time to digest it, and therefore destroying cells in your body, is literally a carcinogen. Like, just literally a carcinogen. That's how they define carcinogens. That's why every year, thousands more they come out with new carcinogens. Yeah. It's like, I don't get why they keep coming out with different things that's in the same vein. Like, for example, they say anything cooked over coal or anything cooked over an open fire is a carcinogen. Then they'll tell you, fire grill hot pot. And then they'll listen to 50 cents of builder. You just told us it's not grilled. It's not being cooked by gas. It's being cooked by like some process source that produces smoke. Then it's carcinogen. It's the charcoal itself is a carcinogen.
Yeah.
There's little black bits you get on food. They're carcinogens.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they are. I just think they don't. When you've got 50 million items on the list, and they're not guaranteed to do it every time. It's not like this. Something to listen to your car. There's 50 different instructions on there. None of them work. There's some thinking they don't have to the car. It's really bad at what we know. Although someone apparently in Korea has started to make cancer cells stop reproducing a cancer error. The cells start reproducing healthy again.
Yeah.
And that's only in those dishes in Korea. So that doesn't really work for human bodies at the moment. But look at the 3 Koreas. No, Koreas. Because when we say Korea, there's a North Korea, South Korea, isn't there? So most times we go either North Korea, South Korea, but then a lot of times we also say just Korea. But then, yeah, like Korea's just come out with medicine. Which side of Korea was it? North or the South? Or is it the third side, which is in the middle, and they shrug.
I think it's just the south. I think it's a massive part of Korea that's either the north or the south.
Yeah, and now I know Donald James Parker's address.
It'll be the south.
Yeah, because the north would be very restricted, won't they? Unless Kim Jong-il gets his thingies. That's the very first one. Very first kombat. Not the one that keeps saying it's the first one.
Okay.
Description of Murder is the first one. Not the book club guide. That's the first of the series, but that's the very first episode of Columbo. So it's really good, it is. There we go. We'll have the one where he shows that evolution is fake. He convinced a college professor.
I just want to talk about something that's really close to me. Little me. Perfection. I'm so excited to talk about today's film. I'm so excited that
I could do it. The art of filmmaking has never seen more abuse than when assaulted by the revolutionary filmmaker Donald James Parker. A few months back, I covered one of his more recent films, Hearts Are Trump, the biggest heaping of nonsense I've watched in the past year. Sure you can guess what that was about. But see, the thing is, you actually can't guess, because to the guy's credit, none of his films are predictable in the slightest. Hearts Are Trump specifically was filled with hateful rhetoric and wild political conspiracy theories simply masked as dialogue exchanges between characters. The film felt more like an hour-and-a-half long political rant than an actual movie.
This
So
guy's
for
got
this
his voice.
video's film, I decided,
This comment here
let's go
has got
back to
his voice.
simpler times,
He's
right?
called
Let's
Don's
go back
voice.
to the fresh year of 2014. I mean, look at what happened in 2014. You got the Ebola outbreak. Oh shit, Malaysia Flight 370. Damn, wait, I forgot when that actually happened. Rise of ISIS. Heavy. Let's see. Robin Williams suicide. God. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I was 14 that year, so okay. No, yeah. Right. So this year also saw the release of Gramps Goes to College. Classic film by the one,
Yes.
the only.
I like the twist about a shark is absolutely fucking annihilated.
From the close and dense literature of his typical screenplays. However, I suppose I'm a goddamn idiot, because Gramps isn't going to college to have some
Valentine's Day card for
He's
that
not going to develop
from
a version of himself. No, Gramps is going to college to spread Christianity.
Yeah? Grab's so fucking about he's going right to the heart of the evil, isn't he? But then, I don't know what Christianity is, because not many Christianities and not many Catholics cancel out science today. They do not cancel each other out there. Science Catholicism, science Christianity. But some Christianities do. I don't know which one, but some denominations that do not trust the science. Like the Mormons are one of them, the Jehovah's are one of them, they don't let the transfusion, things like that.
Yeah.
So there are some that are objecting, but not many.
That unless you win, the fee is absolutely free. You can start playing with America's largest injury law firm with just a click. It's so easy. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.morganlegal.com/candyking. Link in the description.
Man, that's a big thing.
Did the Chancellor send you? I have no idea what you're talking about. Of course not. You still reek of hope. You couldn't have met the Chancellor.
The Chancellor doesn't sound like much.
For ages, his tongue has dripped venom into the dead king's ears. He all but sits upon the eternal throne, demanding service. Who are you? I am the master of blades, and all that remains of the warrior once called Draymond, the kingdom of man. I should have passed through the world of souls long ago. But I won my freedom in the arena, only to fall beneath the dead king's whip.
Have you seen how they're working at the gym? Not the one dude with the arm brace and he got pulled out. He's only got one, he's going like this, and it's like, you pull his head. And you got Donald. He's just moving his arms around really fast like this. I can't do this, man. Sent to college, guessing ladies. Yeah, good luck to you.
Right? By the way, I know you guys haven't seen the movie in full, but have you noticed that he's been doing the same exercise the entire time? What is he doing? He's literally just doing the same thing all everybody your parents. These kids are being brainwashed by liberal secular English professors.
This was not expected.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool, back. Stop. What he does, bro.
You know right off the bat that he's trying to single-handedly tear down singularity. be ignorant to assume that these stories are just to, at the very least, a few individuals. And that fact alone is highly frightening. With his face set, Donald is ready to head off to college. And in the next scene, we meet his mom and her daughter. The daughter is kind of the shitty one here. Not only did she drink and drive, but she's also just so spoiled. She keeps asking for a new car like she didn't just pick up a DUI. When Tom pulls up to college, the first thing we learn about him is that he's afraid of women. To pick her up.
Still thought that was a Donna movie. Yeah, when he says any piece of me female door, so you hear a woman, hi, come in. It's like, oh god, he's really not being sort of this lady character, is he?
Dickerson, it's a co-ed door.
Co-ed?
Yes, that means both for male and female.
You know what co-ed means?
Co-ed means I'm just a little bit surprised and confused because I expressly asked for a men's dormitory. Afraid of women? Or men? His character's name is I'm reading too far into this, but those names he gets pissed off at the woman for assuming that he's here to drop off his grandson. And I mean, it's what's the matter? Don't you have any sexagenarians ever stay in his dorm? What? Sexagenarian means someone who's 60-something years old? Oh. Shut the fuck up, dude. You know what I mean? I just want to smack the back of his head. You know, he's so smug. I'm sorry for that one, guys. I'm trying to be less violent. I'm trying to be less violent with my internet. So I'm going to open up this door 327.
Why would you be a pedophile or someone being rude? I want to be rude with an adult male rather than an adult female. I'm not a pedophile. No, he wants to be rude with an adult male. He wants to seem to be gay or something like that. Wouldn't that be the going to place? If we're not homosexual, he really wants to be there with the men, it's like. Right.
Anyway, that ass like the thing about DJ Games, he creates these storylines where we're meant to believe that the most abundant communities in America are
no one disturbs the Lord of Bones.
Dude, you talk to Americans, that's how they present it. Because they present this Christianity on one side, which means in their eyes over half the country.
In the kingdom of the dead? No, this will never do.
I must speak with the Lord of Bones.
Find out that they're both Christians, and Dad's like, oh, thank God, there's going to be someone here to pray with her. By the way,
My lord attends his realm.
No.
Beyond even your ken, of course.
A dirty old man who's single, and you're dropping your daughter off to college, and he's just there in this co-ed door. So they said he doesn't want to be around, but they would take your 16-year-old daughter under his wing. Yeah, that's a no, that's a
the last chance.
dirty old men, whether they be young women or young men, they're dirty and trying to be mental about it.
it's honestly insane.
Not the worst violent them into a shit people
And return here with its skull. His Majesty will grant you.
Where is this arena?
Just stare at it.
When he started this party, it was like
We have already arrived.
Oh yeah, okay, I love that actually. Unfortunately, I've been on that side of the room. Yeah, that's the side of the room I've been. Christian's got that side of the room on the other side, unfortunately. Is this one of the part of the alcohol dress? Alcohol, yeah, alcohol, baby. Right.
Let me speak to the Lord of Bones.
You literally just ooze
I
disrespect
spare
at me
your
when you're trying to
champion,
disrespect.
and perhaps you as well, Chancellor. You cannot slay that which is already dead. But you're welcome to try.
Yes.
Forget what I said about sparing you.
Yeah, they try not to. You can do that. Obviously, with every college university that they allow, it's going to be on secret.
His reign is
Let's just say it's
eternal.
because they don't
His word is
the word is shit.
and his time is invaluable. I am sure that he need only speak with those who are worthy. Then you must rarely see him, Chancellor. Oh,
This happens. I was worried about being a party alcohol. I didn't ever study at all. I was listening to my Bible and take on a weapon. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm fine. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. Party animals probably the only positive animal you can be called, isn't it?
what does a kid have to do with
Any
you?
other kind of animal, it's never really
I heard
positive.
she had
It's
one
not
of her own.
something
The shadow.
Is it? I would say he's more gay
Besides,
than
yeah.
pedophile.
Where the
See, what's his
sisters
pose as man, he gets on really well when that teach you the thing, you're a man.
Lord's foes escaped
The
them.
ladies, he rejects me when they're coming on, so he's like, no, thank you.
We hunted them down. Echidna herself barely escaped. Perhaps she took shelter here, and yet weaves
I mean, only Stephanie.
Why would you want to send someone
first.
Like, I've always been confused by that. I just want to break down his beliefs.
There
It's like, it's what if what they believe is real, but for you only get a 5-minute laugh. Why do you believe in hell anyway?
too mad
So
to
why
be
do you
kept upon the throne. I helped my lord be with him, and even destroyed a few of his servants. Tisk, tisk. What will my lord do without me? Do take care in the arena. Should anything happen to you, I'm not sure if I could live with myself.
Brother, he's trying to display a situation that happens to every ethnic and religious group other than
Yes.
That being said, I'm confident that Donald is the master of one thing.
I believe he's trying to suggest that Christianity
What is it now?
just derided like other groups. Well, he's literally making money on making videos mocking Christianity.
Yes.
Christians, they do get mocked. So like everyone else, they get mocked. Everyone gets mocked.
Fantasizing about things that will never come true for you in real life must be the ultimate.
What is it now?
Interesting observation. Yeah, hey, I'll stop you right there. Who cares? The film assumes that the audience has a solid understanding of creation.
That's the scientist's answer, isn't it? Not being else to hear. If they don't believe the God himself, they don't give a shit what one of his followers says. Yeah. John Ecclesiastes said this. Yeah, it's kind of that anyway, but what the shit I believe about.
The universe, Earth, life, and humans originated with supernatural acts of divine creation. Its broadest sense, creationism includes a continuum of religious views, which vary in their acceptance or rejection of scientific explanations, such as evolution, that describe the origin.
Oh yeah, there you go. See, creationists.
As that description stated, there is a wide range of views among the sects of creationism. You can pause and take a look at this card if you need to. It's going to take a little longer to pick up on, but based on what we learn later in the film, I've been able to narrow down the fact that Donald is probably a young Earth creationist. Young Earth creationists are actually the goofiest. Their defining factor is that they believe that the Earth has only existed for less than 2,000 years.
Yeah. But we have no proof it hasn't been. What you call the carbon dating is not even remotely accurate. Or not even remotely accurate. Sometimes something could be 100,000 years off. They measure the deterioration of I suppose radiation, isn't it? Some carbon, something like that. So I think that it's half-life, isn't it? It's kind of weird.
I have to go alone.
So you guys know how this is going to go. The professor's going to ask a question. Donald's going to listen right here. You didn't know what was going there. God help you. First thing, it's a class choosing. It is literally against every secular school's policy.
All of you not create first and like as it is to step up.
Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't be doing that. Look at them Christians! They wouldn't do that. I've never been to the Universal College. I don't think they'd do that, would they? I should stand up. I don't think that's all.
us this foolishness.
I have many things to say about this, but here's my main issue. The point of a biology class is to learn about biology, not convert Christians to atheism. After a few moments of Bible quoting, the film basically tries to establish the idea that these two characters are now going to butt heads for the rest of the story. The one thing I will commend this film for, though, is actually the bare minimum, which is the fact that it has a somewhat fluid story. You know, like Hearts for Trump was legitimate nonsense. I could not name a single plot point that didn't end up being some kind of political rant. But the story certainly...
What I love is, it showed the scene from Hearts for Trump, where the kid gets beaten up by leftists and his hat taken off him in the way red, and he described it as something ridiculous that could never possibly happen. And then it started happening. People getting their hats taken off and beaten up and things like that. So it was happening. It just wasn't hitting the news like the big news. It was hitting the news, local news, of course. It's not hitting the big news. So it's actually happened, isn't it? Repeatedly. It's like...
I'm just going to give you a general rundown, and I'm going to spare us some time, okay? More applause. I'm a Stephanie gets pretty acquainted with Brad, and honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure you can guess why.
Bet you have some nice wheels to get around.
Take a truck.
Really? You mind giving me a ride sometime?
God damn it. Out of nowhere, this macho guy pulls up, and he is wild, dude.
The Neanderthal thing is getting a little old.
Neanderthal? Really? Is that a way of speaking on flame?
That flame went out so totally that there is no evidence that it ever existed.
I'll say one thing. I don't think still one.
Guys, keep in mind, Donald wrote this, okay? He wrote
Yeah.
that line. The guy presses Ty and then casually drops that there's an intramural sports league on campus, so obviously Ty's signing up for that shit. Not only that, but he's going to make his own team. But as soon as Stephanie and Brad leave, Ty and Michaela just start trashing Stephanie because they sense she's not godly. Sorry guys, I'm just doing a little lunch stretch here, and then we can move on.
It's like a teenage girl, isn't it? As soon as the girl runs out, we trash her.
Let's just move on.
Community autograph games? It's mocking me. No. You're our hero if you stood up to Professor Tucker. You're a legend. On campus just one day. I can't see you after the rest of the year.
Right, like you can tell. You can tell where he took a break from writing to do an edge session.
I'm part of the computer club. And Peter Jordan
Are you kidding me?
also a creationist. How can that be?
What?
What's about how the world was created? The others that I had the world was... What are you talking about?
This is fantastic.
Oh, Neil Breen. But religious Neil Breen. There's going to be the lefty Neil Breen, and there's going to be the centrist Neil Breen. Our job is to find these crazy motherfuckers who are being screaming their beliefs. It's like... But they've got to have this level of self-love, isn't it? It's like...
Or the lungs. Or the heart is needed to pump the blood.
He has to make computers. See, that's why computers have been talking about lungs and
What the
brains.
fuck are you talking about? So yeah, as you can see, the whole creationist argument for not believing in science is simply the fact that it doesn't make sense. But you know why it does make sense? Because it's science.
But no, it doesn't. That's just the people who put a set of rules. Maths is broken. That's a fact. Maths is broken. All these things that you follow, like physics and all the rest of it, there's always like 3 or 4 different equations that have to be solved to make it work. No science, is my understanding, no science presents itself as having the answers and being 100% correct. No science says that they are 100% correct and that they have all the answers coming. It's just really weird how people think that's true and it's not. If it was, it wouldn't exist. There'd be no further discoveries in those fields. If physics was known, there'd be no new discoveries, but it's discoveries of every other fucking day. So it's just really weird to me. Even in earth sciences where they're studying like weather patterns and things like that, they find new things every single day, don't they? They see it will change what they saw, isn't it? So like one day make it this causes a storm, but then observe someone else it does that to the other patches. They can observe like water flow. They used to think they understood how the oceans move, then they realise they didn't because they just cannot measure those flow tanks they use and all the rest of it are no good for anything if you can't scout nature. You can't study it properly in the lab, you have to be within it. It's like, so there is no science. People like this lab, they talk about science like religious people do. So like, this is why it makes sense? Because it's science. No, that's like finding a woman by using woman. Tell me why science makes sense without using the word science. They'll explain it to me why you think it works. I'm not saying it's not the right answer. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying why is it? It's a different book, which was called Biology. I just don't understand why you think that's more solid than what they're saying. Because theirs explains all of yours, but they've got a creation point. Yours has no creation point. You've got 6 or 7 different creation theories floating around. And you all claim to have the math to thing you did, if you know what I mean. It's weird. That's the thing with most science is based on math. The math itself is flawed. There's a number that's broken in math. They shouldn't exist. They shouldn't exist. Yeah. I think it's number 2. I think number 2 shouldn't exist, or number 1 shouldn't exist. There's a number in math that doesn't work. There's something you can't do that you should be able to do with it. But they ignore it because it gives them a framework to work from. If the framework is flawed at the beginning, you can't say you've got a perfect result. That's not. It's not the science. It's not the scientific method. Oh, string theory. It needs 9 different dimensions.
Same thing again. The maths don't matter. Yeah, and these other things that they need to put into it, they don't have yet.
But they say it's the most workable theory. That's the weird thing. It actually makes more sense than what we're observing. They can't prove it.
Now get this, the 3 words that she uses to describe Ty are intelligent, bold, and handsome.
Oh.
Yeah, the 3rd grader with Benjamin Button disease.
I'd be unhappy with that.
Why does a 3rd grader look like that?
Oh, no. He's 3rd grade in the university, but he's not. No, he's not a real 3rd grader. Can you imagine that? The teacher's coming on to him. He's damn hard, he's bold, he's enticing in his ideas. His views on Thomas the Tank Engine, fucking mind-blowing.
The next scene, because their coffee date is just a nothing-burger argument where they're completely nasty to each other. And given the context, you'd think the date would end off on a pretty sour note, right? Now I gotta get going. Somebody.
No, it's like people who don't communicate with us think arguments happen. They're like friendly arguments that bonds people.
I want to treat you to dinner sometime.
What? I didn't show you guys the clip, but seconds before that, he wrapped up the argument by basically implying that she's going to hell.
Never get that chance to yell, yippee, I win. There is no eternal life. You're going to know that you
Even in an active effort to
That's the best Christian argument of all, isn't it? So the best Christian argument of all is if I'm wrong, then that's it, it's over. Doesn't matter. If you're wrong, oh boy, you ain't gonna time to say yippee about anything, are you, baby? And it's on.
Let's go check out that bourbon. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go check out that bourbon. I'll be mixing that bourbon with illuminate or something like that. The next scene actually rocks. Ty catches Brad coming in late and reprimands him for partying, fearing that he's been having premarital sex with Stephanie. You know, it's funny because if this were an actual comedy, this would be an awesome setup for a scene.
Yeah.
Honestly, the movie in general. The more I think about it, I think that's what makes this movie so entertaining to me. Like, it has mastered the art of lacking self-awareness.
We'll just continue this talk later, okay? And when we do, I want to mention that smell of alcohol that's filling the room right now. Good night.
Why doesn't he just get a roommate spot? Why didn't he do it day 1? It was at this point that the film really made me.
Since day 1, he was a Bible kid.
Did Donald even go to college? Well, if this is his
That kid was a Bible kid when he went party kid on day 1. Remember, he wanted to stay in a room. Then he went into that door and the kid says, cool, you got a Bible, because I've got a Bible, I'll be reading it every day. So why would you want to room switch from a Christian to a non-Christian? He didn't know his kid was going to be a drunk and all the rest of it. Turned out, no, I didn't know.
Like Donald was just a normal guy back in the day, and something really bad happened to him at some point along his path.
No. They're all around you, mate. You won't even know you're talking to a creationist. You make it sound like they're all crazy woo-woo people that you can just see. They're normal people, mate.
I just can't help flying into the flames.
Why do you think so many education institutions are backed by religious donations? They never really cross the second people's minds, isn't it? They fear education. Yeah, but most of the universities are funded by, religious money goes into it. Yeah, they don't fear education. They just don't really promote whatever their belief is. Any more than a Muslim would fund a Catholic church, isn't it? Just doesn't.
A little bit more because we have a lot to cover, and the craziest shit hasn't even happened yet. So, remember earlier when they were talking about the intramural sports league?
What is intramural sports league? What is that?
Or soccer. Well, how about chess? And fuck this dude, because you know what? I know for a fact that the only reason they put chess in this movie is so that Donald could go on some conspiracy rant and end it with checkmate. Checkmate. However, this is the argument in the movie that makes me think Donald forgot what he was writing about halfway through, because it is a non-stop 4-minute exchange about fluoride in drinking water. Did you know?
So that used to be on the left of things about fluoride controlling your thinking, being brain controlled, didn't it? Remember? That the conspiracy theory is they put fluoride in the water because it makes you more docile. Weird, isn't it? That's now considered a right-wing theory. That is bizarre. So now all conspiracy theories are right now, not left. That is really weird. That's really weird.
Got you cornered. Dude, he's so sweet about it. Like, honestly, that might be my favorite out-of-context clip from the movie. This part's hilarious because instead of them arguing about politics or religion, they just have a back and forth about the chess game that they're playing.
You're a noble adversary. Hey, by the way, I'm in your bio class.
Oh, God.
Standing up for those of us that are afraid.
Oh, God. Guys, I can't make it any clearer. Okay, it's just that doesn't happen. The next day, they do a 2-mile race, which, I don't know, man, that just sort of feels super specific, but Ty and Brad.
Do I need it?
I can't imagine Chrissy's been afraid to speak out in biology classes. Why would they? No, I mean, I don't get where the fear comes from. Why would you bother taking it and making part of your curriculum? It's kind of weird. You're going to hate whatever job you're going into, you have to apply that every day. Oh!
It sort of feels super specific, but Ty's got to clean that shit. And after winning, Ty offers the group strawberry milkshakes on him. Yeah, there's that specificity again. But Stephanie doesn't want to get milkshakes because she's
what a
like,
bitch.
But not milkshake.
So looks like they'll be going to another party. Hope nothing bad happened. Ty and Professor Tucker finally have their dinner date in Professor Tucker's home, but before that gets weird, we get a glimpse into this party, which takes place in a massive dim room with a disturbing lack of people. It's the perfect amount of space for each person to have their own awkward corner to stand in. You know, it's awesome. Anyway, they're having a drinking competition. Like, no game involved. It's just the competition to see who can drink the most. It's fucking hard rock, man. I really hope nothing bad happens. Second, Professor Tucker couldn't be more clear that she wants to bang.
People like you are condemning young people to eternal punishment because of your teaching.
Have you ever considered just grabbing me and having some fun?
You had a little bit too much that fermented grape juice.
But the problem here is that Ty is really uncomfortable, so during this scene, we kind of just watch him get sexually harassed.
That's what scientists do when they remove God from the equation, and then they try to explain the intricacies of the world. They take away the correct answer.
Yo! Well, Ty ends up making a great escape from that fiasco, leaving Professor Tucker screaming at him as he flees. He then walks up on Michaela.
Wonder what she was screaming. Really big pleasant abuse with it.
He has a really bad feeling about Brad,
Oh, God.
so they go to the party to scope things out. Funny that she had a bad feeling about Brad, though, because when we cut back to the party, Stephanie throws up, passes out, and literally fucking dies.
She has no vital sign. What are you saying? Man, she's dead.
Oh, fuck, man. Oh, no. She's dead, man. Oh, fuck. Now, this scene is super dramatic, okay? You got Brad yelling at Professor Tucker, who's also here for some reason. I guess it's her fault. And Michaela's like,
I need to pray over her.
and well, by praying over her body, you guessed it, guys.
No.
She brings her ass back to life.
No. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God.
It is the perfect final moment of rejoice for everyone.
Who else checked this girl's vitals? Was it just the drunk kids who don't know how to check vitals? That could explain it, couldn't it?
If I keep yapping, you guys are going to do something drastic, because the rest of the movie truly becomes nonsense, okay? Donald gets expelled from school, Professor Tucker gets fired, Christians start taking over the campus, and there's still like 2 more high-action sports scenes that mean nothing to the plot. Ty's expulsion is celebrated by a community of random people like he's made some kind of crown.
Say, look. They literally lined up in the hallways to applaud him as he's leaving. It's crazy, isn't it? Can you imagine that in a college?
possible with a church full of kids reading various quotes from evolution deniers? This one kid, like, he can't even read.
That's Chael. Nobel Prize winner.
But that's the end of the movie. And
Yeah,
if you ask
it was
me,
Jim.
I really think that there was anything
Nobel Prize winner.
Ty successfully changed Professor Tucker's
Why not?
mind,
Show
but
it, show
I'd
it.
argue that he simply drove her to madness
Why
with
is that
his own
hiding and show
insanity.
it?
And with
There's
that
a
being
button that says
said,
show.
I'm gonna drop the
What?
mic.
So I'll press it.
Like, evolution
It
is
says
not real.
hide, but
Drop
what is
the
it
mic.
hiding?
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. No, you know what I want you to do in the comments? In the comments, I want you to leave the phrase, "Oh, Jesus! Oh, God!" That would be funny. This one was quite the roller coaster to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. I love watching Donald James Parker films. They make me feel like I'm dying. That being said, short outro, and that's all I have for you this time. But until next time, guys, this is what I want to show you today for the outro clip. I have this sensory shark, and it goes like that. It's so nice to play with.
Hey, Chuck, the TV show.
Do you guys have one of these? Okay,
Or
that's it.
Shazam, like Mr. Marvel.
Bye, guy.
That TV's
So
done.
weird, dude.
The Christian autism movie, that's anti-fan.
This is fantastic.
Oh, come on, oh my god. But it's cinemas. I think because for any belief there's going to be a cinema, isn't there? They're going to be making the movies as cheap as these do nowadays, and banging them out. We usually ain't got the time to sit there looking for them, watching whole ones.
And I think to myself,
Whoa.
what a wonderful world.
Audience for politicians like RFK. Their lack of intelligence makes them vulnerable and therefore easy to manipulate. That demographic alone is never enough to form a majority around election season. And when you look like this, garnering support from Americans under the age of 30 is an almost impossible task. We've seen politicians go about this in a number of ways. They'll hire a social media team, or maybe get themselves placed on a couple popular podcasts. That's the typical route. Very few, however, choose to employ the secret weapon, an avatar.
I mean, yes, that's why he's unpopular. He's an anti-vaxxer thinking. That is nuts. So why is he always crying then? Well, I mean, that in a mean way, but if you take on certain stances, you've got to be aware that there's going to be people shouting at you, isn't there? You can't cry that they're shouting at you, because it shouldn't bother because it's your stance that you've chosen it.
And Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, what are you about now? Who are you? Who have you shown yourself to be? Bobby, to me, is somebody with great depth and integrity. There's a lot of corruption, and we got to get those people out of those jobs because they don't deserve to be there. They are not properly servants. They think themselves above us. Good for me, but not for me, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. Zachary Levi, in the last 5 years, has probably spoken more about American right-wing politics than acting.
No way.
His actual job is genuinely, and I mean this from the heart, genuinely so sad to see how far off the deep end he's fallen. Like, as a theater student of the 2010s, his performance in the 2016 revival of She Loves Me was like my favorite thing ever at one point. Ooh, I've tied it back in, baby. Crazy part is that amidst his current political arc, he's actively getting cast in movies about autism. That's right. 2025 saw the release of The Unbreakable Boy, a film adaptation of the novel by author Scott Loren. The trailer advertises a movie based on an inspirational true story about Scott Loren's autistic son Austin, and Zachary Levi is in it too. Yep, that's pretty much all you get from the trailer.
I wish I could enjoy anything as much as my son enjoys everything.
Nope, that's a kite.
Nope, doesn't go.
Perhaps for Teresa Hall 1490, that trailer was reason enough to buy a ticket. I, however, required a bit more research, because in a day and age where autism is arguably the most accepted and embraced it's ever been, you can't help but wonder, well, what's the angle here? See, the film was supposed to come out in 2022, but was mysteriously pulled from Lionsgate's release schedule 8 days before its release. After finally releasing earlier this year, it was revealed in an interview with Kevin Downs, a producer on the film, that strategically, we wanted to wait until after the country was no longer focused necessarily on politics, and they were focused on humanity and each other. All right then, Kevin, why don't you just go ahead and let me know when it's over? Politics. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll be sure to pass that anecdote along to your lead actor. Surely that's a message he'll resonate with. Scott has revealed in multiple interviews that, over time, his frustrations with the delay began to grow. In the following clip, he seeks to allude to the fact that his resulting behavior
Oh,
was
look at him, Thomas on the march. Tom, you're coming up to the bed. Thomas. Oh, I was still there. Maggie! Maggie, he wasn't doing anything! Maggie! See, he jumped out of fire because he beats him up. Maggie, that was cruel.
What truly went on behind the scenes, people never know. But what I needed to know is why they thought this seemingly innocent family film was going to be so controversial. Well, towards the beginning of the trailer, 2 production companies are credited. One of them is Lionsgate, which Scott mentioned before. The other is Kingdom Story Company.
Oh, no.
Kingdom of what?
Yeah.
Kingdom Story Company, formerly known as Kingdom Studios, is an American independent film and television studio in partnership with Lionsgate, specializing in the production of Christian films. Right, there we go. So this isn't just a film about...
Oh, they come from Nashville, some lefty.
Christian film about autism.
Oh, they're still saying that, like, despite the left-footed over there, but they're still not left.
Based on Scott Lorent's 2014 novel, originally titled The Unbreakable Boy, a father's fear, a son's courage, and a story of unconditional love. Knowing that films based on books are bound to leave out some minor details, I decided it was my responsibility to read the entire goddamn thing. This only complicated things further, because discrepancies between the book and the film are present. That should not be a surprise based on my description so far. Typically, these discrepancies present themselves in moments that make you think, oh, okay, I can see why they took that out. That makes sense. The Unbreakable Boy, however, seems to have blurred the line between discrepancy and lying.
This movie is based on true facts. Lots of true facts. And quote by Oscar. That's me.
Example number 1. Lie. This is a true story, okay? That has always been the case. But this is an autobiography.
Hmm?
That's right, folks. If you've ever wanted to hear the story of a broken family trying to raise an autistic child entirely from the perspective of the alcoholic father, this is the book for you. I sit cowering in my closet, the one place I find refuge. Life is hard. Really, really hard. And sometimes this is the only place I can find a few minutes to ease my brain and recalibrate my soul. Go ahead and laugh. A grown man hiding in a closet like a little kid. Well, Scott, I have to admit, being asked to laugh at you while you hide in a closet from your autistic child in paragraph 1 of your novel, it feels like a little bit of a trap.
Feels like a little bit of a trap. We told her there's no way with it. Because it could get into paragraph 1. Could get from Red Squad later on, there might be a reason inside that closet, isn't it? It's fine.
The same way, with a flashback to what Scott considers to be the worst night of his life, which is, unfortunately, not an exaggeration. One year, he decided to take his kids to the country club New Year's Eve party. I mean, there's another red flag for you right there. Funny, at this family event, Scott gets unbelievably hammered off champagne, blacks out, and drives his kids. This actually happened. We'll uncover their
Oh god, yes, it's a true story. Okay. Oh my god.
Richard Austin Lorette. Think you have it on. Or Oz Man. Alright, you people. I feel like textbook. Ready? Here we go. I got sneakers for jamming, snowboards, pancakes, sunshine, fashion future, chicken nuggets, and advanced dressing.
Well, I guess I'm autistic. This is a great example of what I was talking about before. Why in 2025 are we hitting this with the whole, hey, you may be autistic, but he's just like you? I just feel like we're so past that. I mean, correct me if I'm
Really,
wrong,
you kidding me, man. They're the best reviews that different than that.
Storytellers look uneducated. Now, let's say that up until this point, all you had as context for this film was the trailer,
Yeah.
which, remember, only talks about autism and introduces some ideas of family struggle. Like, please fact check me right now for your own sake. I need you to understand how literal I'm being. I imagine you'd be surprised to hear this little tidbit within the first few lines of the film.
I have a condition called osteogenesis imperfecta. Those are big words, but it basically means my bones break easily. I've broken my arms, my nose, my legs, my feet.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, I always have an autism.
Oh no, we knew that part, thank you. You're telling me this kid has lived the life of a Mortal Kombat
Sure.
character and you decided to sell the story of the fact that he's autistic? Actually, fuck it, we're here anyway.
Hi, come in. We are so happy.
Anyway, that's not all. Monkey time! Brittle bone disease and autism aren't the only things Austin has to deal with. Besides being born with broken bones, Austin was born with a broken heart. When he was 4 years old, doctors discovered Austin had an atrial septal defect, a hole in the wall between the two upper chambers of his heart. He also had a ventricular septal defect, a hole in the wall between the two lower chambers of his heart. He had a leaky heart.
Yeah, the broken heart. Yeah, it shows you what a crazy world we live in, where osteoporosis won't sell it, but where autism will, isn't it? It's mental, isn't it? But people run to watch it to see how they identify with the kid, isn't it? And then they realise, oh, maybe the kid's an autistic, maybe he's got an alcoholic dad that has to talk about to communicate, and he spent most of his life in hospital, so he doesn't know how to talk to people. Maybe that's what the kid's got, not autism. But, why?
When I first met Teresa, I thought she was pretty cute, but she thought I was gay.
No?
Well, that's certainly a fun fact to leave out. I mean, this is a story about...
I don't make no sense. If that was how the date went, why would you think for a guy would you go to a gay man? Doesn't make over to you. I mean, do you work on commission? Yeah. I'll buy 5 coffees if you have dinner with me. Would you then think he was a gay man? It's clearly coming on to you, isn't it? It's like...
It was in great shape. The girls seemed to like my dark blonde hair and green eyes. They
Right.
told me I was cute and
Right.
sweet and genuine. Like, all right, man, we get it. You're not gay. You're just an alcoholic. Because somehow stuck me in his neck 3 dates with Teresa in a span of 3 weeks. Which is wild, because date number 1 would have had my ass packing.
After that, Mom and Dad went on 3 dates in 3 weeks. Date number 1, coffee. Coffee like coffee shop.
Oh, yeah, no, they said something going, actually.
Unbelievable. Fellas, I cannot stress how much you should not do this. I don't know what type of irresistible god Scott thinks he is, but this would never fly in real life, okay? Which is exactly why it didn't happen.
Ah, there you go.
Yep. None of these dates are expanded upon in the novel, so we have to believe that this is 100% creative liberty. Sucks, by the way. Ultimately, it feels like a way to butter up the audience emotionally so that the following events don't make Scott look too shitty.
Like, I didn't know her last name. Oh! Shut up. Hey there, if you want to go out again, I'm going to need to know your last name.
Huh?
Is everything okay?
Yeah, well, no.
Oh!
Oh, I'm sorry, I've been meaning to ask you. Are you bobbing it? Because I'm bobbing it all the time. Right now, I'm bobbing it on the couch.
I bob too. That was just a really weird connection. I thought it was going to be some kind of sex thing. Nobody asked me if you're bobbing it. But maybe coffee or something like that.
Folks, Olipop is a new type of soda. Nostalgic, delicious, and good for your gut. It's prebiotic soda. You ever heard of it? I am introducing Pineapple Paradise, Olipop's newest collaboration with SpongeBob to promote the new movie SpongeBob Search for SquarePants, only in theaters December 19th. Plus, there's multiple cans to collect, so we're going to do an unboxing right now. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm bobbing it. I'm bobbing it. got Pirate Bob again, which is a little underwhelming, but here are the other ones that you can collect. Maybe you will collect more than me. It's Bobby. If you'd like to begin your collection today, I can get you $2 off of your next pack of Olipop if you just scan the QR code on screen or follow the link on screen. Thank you, Olipop, for this Olipop fantastic Olipop. Now, here's something goofy. And remember, we often find Scott partaking in two activities throughout the film: drinking, naturally, and chopping it up with this guy, sometimes simultaneously. This is Joe, Scott's best friend since birth. Quite literally, he's imaginary.
What? What? Tyler Gray autistic. Got a weird dad. Tyler Gray's got autism. He watches his dad talk to people that's not there. So I mean, sometimes it's not autism, it's socially created, isn't it? It's like social disorder. Like physical, genetic. Long with your biological. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
From this moment on, we as the audience are expected to empathize with this guy because he accidentally got a girl pregnant. Empathize with this guy accidentally got a girl pregnant. Okay, this means the parents see Scott's
I have wares aplenty. Goods spare. How did you get here? The kid knows many roads. Not all of them are shared with horsemen. All new items from land near and far.
A single thing about Teresa's experience during any of this, we then jump 3 months into the future. So, once again, allow me to reflect. Teresa felt unfair and fighting for an abortion. She felt alone and afraid. Cancel the appointment due to the audience on feet when she canceled that appointment. Sorry, it's true. Pretty touch abortion in any fashion, which in my opinion is the life of this baby I gave, she thought. It's not like one of many examples of valuable information about Teresa's past that is necessary and hardly touched on enough. As far as comparing the major detail we learned about her is that she had a bad relationship with her parents, and one of them was also an alcoholic. Okay, check this out. Her parents took all of her abuse and it waiting to happen. And she, that's pretty much it. I guess, a few months later. Pregnancy that she has an OI and that it's genetic. Like, would you agree that pregnancy aside, this is probably something
Oh yeah. Yes. That's the worst thing about that.
pretty early on, right? If I'm being Boston's for these series of drug tragedies.
Oh, okay, so the kid that's just been born. So what are the odds of having one kid with this condition and he meets a boy a lady as a baby with that same condition? That's crazy, isn't it?
They learned this OI pretty immediately after
Yeah,
the first
breaking.
mentioned the book. We learned her been after the off the changing table and with a separate real life event. Austin vaults himself from a coffee table and snaps his legs while Scott has his back turned. So
But it'd be considered liable though if they didn't do their thing.
does manipulating the story of Austin's OI diagnosis to center it more around Scott, not minimize Austin's experience? Let's ponder on this as we
Let's ponder. Come on, boy. You've actually bad stuff.
You will tell us his cause. Speak, challenger.
I'm here to defeat your champion.
Challengers boast.
What's he doing, lady? What's this do happy feet? Make a beer, why would you say? Just move this problem and think of yourself. Get off
Enough! Bring out your champion.
There is power in this one. Power enough to do as he claims. But our champion is no cur to be summoned at will. You must draw him forth. This altar holds his power. The souls of all he has slain and consumed. 3 animal stones must be placed therein, and our champion will arrive.
It is not lost on me.
The third progresses to the 90s when you get fucking money for it. Let's not do this thing. It's more than 20 years ago, there's no way they could have known what we know now. If anything, it's now over fucking diagnosed. That's why the movies are going to fall apart soon, isn't it? Because people realise, I know, all you're seeing is the abuse of the families, the child, they didn't socialise their child as well. But yes, one of our genetic conditions like autistic, which is what used to be. But now you get people who tell their child is non-verbal autistic. They're 3 years old. And then they speak occasionally, so they're not non-verbal. Non-verbal means they're never verbal, they make noises instead of like they're locked in. You know, or because your child doesn't speak much, that just means you're not talking much. And not like, there's no thing in the living spaces that it's like there's that study where that shows like in a 2-parent household, no matter what kind of parents, whether it's male, female, male and male, female and female, the kid will hear hundreds of thousands of words, will hear all these ideas being talked about. Not necessarily, you know, like political or smart ideas, it could be fucking sat down on TV, but they'll hear conversations and they'll see conflict, they'll see conflict resolution, they'll see all this stuff. If it's a one-parent household, again, no matter the sex, they don't experience anywhere near that. I think it's something silly like 5,000 words-fold experience. And they won't see conflict resolution, so they'll never see another party being right while that party's being wrong, and vice versa. They have no understanding of how to conduct themselves. So, like, when the parents come home and they're seething for a bad situation, that just impacts the child, yeah. So I think that's why it's become, social conditions have become vastly overdiagnosed, haven't they? Yeah. Because the issues they cause are not detrimental to you physically. They're emotionally, they don't cause depression or anything like that, and you know what's caused it, so it's kind of weird. Like, for example, it's not like you're standing opposite someone feeling really uncomfortable, feeling off the game, and you have no idea why it's bothers you all day. You know that while you're talking to that person, as soon as that conversation's over, they're gone, you're back to being fine, aren't you? You're just nervous to see them, you're a bit anxious, you don't like it. You know why? Whereas, like, the depressions and all the rest of the proper ones, they don't know why, do they? They never explain it. They're just quiet as that. But you know it's bad, like some of the fucking originator of it is now saying that it's now become useless, though. Getting that diagnosis now is, yeah, being what is it now in Britain, 1 in 4, 1 in 3 of that diagnosis. So it's impossible. Parkinson's and disability, which is so popular body that it's normal. So if it ever gets to 2 in 4, that's it. It means it's now normal to have it, so you're no longer disabled because, you know, you're more likely to become this big drug, isn't it?
By the way, it literally doesn't even bother to tell us what happened. For me, it's another front row seat in how to get back up and face adversity with grace. Odd style. Yeah, adversity that you fought. You don't deserve a positive mindset from this. Next paragraph. I was also learning that maybe it was okay to be unsure.
See what you can find.
My problem was I was too sure of myself. Ego or confidence. I don't know. By the way, I was part of the thing, and yeah, we talked about it. Totally, it was fine. At this point in the film, things start to kind of jump all over the place factually. I would say like a solid third of this film didn't make it. Like, the next part is about Teresa and this event that she's been ignoring because, I don't know, that she's doing this game. That's actually canon, by the way. Teresa is a huge gamer in real life. She did 25 recently, so like today. Oh, example. Stuff like, swing set. It all falls apart one day when the city comes to seize their trash bins and stops knocking. It's not the reason I think it's not he's fighting, but it's honestly, it all seems to want to stick that it was mainly on Teresa. It's not my fault. I got to get myself out there, mountain bikes and golf clubs.
Oh god.
Took up fly fishing and model airplanes and helicopters. And you know where the watch is.
Oh god. This is what I want that career where he kept coming clean, isn't it?
I worked hard and I felt like I deserved something.
Yes, but then you're shaking because your kid got a Star Wars set and you've bought a £1,500 fucking fishing rod. You can't moan about anything once you spent that £1,500 or something. You're done. And you did it repeatedly. No. You are the problem with the money, isn't it? I don't think anyone would put a basic going to physically attack her. I really can't see it. And it has to be bloody good, yeah. But with a knife now, so just breaking their wrist and putting the attack on it. Like, get beaten after it. So I'd like both of those, and that's what they're physically like, but it's a good idea. They're locking you down. Lockdown, mummy! So still said, oh my god, look at the beautiful. I don't know. Where is it? Is he washing with the tub? 2 seconds, I'll dive the other one. Oh, should have some monsters. I don't think I'll have time for that. I'll just get to it. Yeah, oh, you where's my powers gone? Oh, I going for my powers! God, I thought my button was fucking broken.
Does it count to what you needed to do?
No, I realised I took all my powers off me, so I haven't got any powers to activate.
Turns out this was all due to a medication reaction, but for safety reasons, they had to get tossed into the psych ward for a few days. Quickly, I don't know much about the psych ward. I've never been myself, but I do know that they make the situation a lot less drastic than the movie. So I thought it was important that you know what actually happened. It's pretty violent. Regardless, this meltdown causes such an amount of grief for Teresa that she attempts to take her own life. I'll admit, I've been wondering when this was going to come up. Mainly the fact that a suicidal mother is her only description on the back of the book.
Fuck off.
That was it. There's not a single
That was it.
of anxiety, depression, anything like that in this book related to Teresa.
He's really did a hatchet job on the mum, hasn't he? Like, really doing a hatchet job on the mum, hasn't he? Made it sound like a phone for getting pregnant early. Make it sound like suicide, and let's just have that moment to, oh, I really wish I was dead. He's an alcoholic, spent all the money, but they made her not think money from spending money on the kids, and never revealed he spent all the money on mountain bikes and things like that.
This novel is titled My Own Little Rain Band,
Oh,
which is
God.
diabolical. Chapter 28 starts off with a Bill Cosby quote.
Oh no! Oh no!
Solved by the end of this story is alcoholism. That's right, folks, we're going straight from the heart for this. We're going off script, no script, off script. At the beginning of this story, Scott recounts an evening where everything fell apart. This event, of course, being going to the country club, getting blackout drunk with his kids, and then driving them home. The first thing I want to talk about is the guy in this scene who watches Scott eat shit and still goes, "Hey man, you forgot your keys." "Yes, sir, you have a good night with your 2 kids. Okay, here's what Scott wakes up to the next morning in the movie.
I want you out of this house right now. Kids are fine in their room, and that's where they're going to stay until you're gone. I don't want you in there.
That is absolutely fucking insane. To the point where, when I watched it for the first time, I immediately opened Google to see if this guy was in prison or not. And obviously, as we know, he is not in jail. Because that didn't happen. Oh, Scott. Yes, this crash was an entirely fabricated event for the film. They make it home safe and sound in the book. Literally no problem. She was reprimanded the next morning and his family really been in one or 2 weeks. Really, it brings me to my final thought about all this. Why is this being told? If you actually get the logline summary of this film,
Yeah.
it's almost like Scott thought that putting every single bad thing that he's ever done in a book would, like, wash him clean of his sins or something. Oh, speaking of that, the entire Act 3 of the film is Scott going to this church program where he, I guess, gets better? I don't know. It's never officially stated as like an Alcoholics Anonymous kind of thing. He is no longer an alcoholic to this date, that we can confirm. But it's just kind of like he ends up learning that all of this is God's plan for him, you know, and here's the issue.
You normally get
It feels like he's
all you ever
learning
hear about
to
you
accept.
sounds a bit what you call it house later you hear legacy about it. It's all house later like when you go back the getting out of the sand. I'm so excited for you. Everything will be perfectly fine. I promise you, everything will be fine. But that's what she was saying.
Being the smartest guy in the friend group is great, but it creates problems when trying to lead conversation. The things I have to say are niche, cool, and attention-grabbing, so it really frustrates me when I can't command the attention of a room. But if you want to talk about, like, #1 epic rap battle, it's gotta be Artist versus Ninja Turtles. That's why I come to YouTube, where every week I unbox and break down the latest and greatest products coming to retailers near you. I got bored of that intro, I want to do a new one. Now I'm the lead singer of an evangelical megachurch band preparing to drop anti-abortion bars over AI Nickelback instrumentals. And in true fashion, I am also blackout drunk. Today, we're going to be talking about the Osama bin Laden of independent film, Donald James Parker. Name any topic the uneducated people of America complain about on a daily basis, and this guy has made, quite literally, an entire movie out of it. However, his newest film could flip even his biggest fans on their heads, and potentially even turn them against each other. The film is titled Operation Unite, which actually sounds kind of cool until you realize you're watching a movie about Christian-on-Christian violence.
What?
That's right, folks. According to the people who experience it, it's out there and it's nasty. Understanding the true stupidity of the matter first requires an understanding of a form of Christianity called charismatic Christianity. Denominations within the grouping share a spirituality characterized by a worldview where miracles, signs, and wonders, and other supernatural occurrences are expected to be present in the lives of believers. This includes the presence of spiritual gifts, such as prophecy and healing. Donald, in this film, is essentially going to try to convince us that this form of Christianity should be embraced, which it shouldn't, because it's unbelievably dangerous. Some of you may remember when we covered Apostle Catherine, a Christian influencer and pastor who supposedly possesses these abilities.
I'd like to just testify of something, how God used you to help me heal my son and deliver him from spiritual autism.
No! If it helps give you a better idea, that is what this film is attempting to glorify. However, the biggest question on my mind when learning about charismatics for the first time was just how does one acquire these Christian superpowers? Well, let's hop into this mess and find out.
I'd like to thank you all today for having me as a guest speaker. The Lord just gave me a word for something. You, young man in the blue shirt, please come forward.
So fun.
You are to be a bridge between the charismatic and the non-charismatic world.
Yeah, okay, so bullshit. Way to delegitimize yourself in the first minute of your movie. Didn't realize I had to track down the general manager of my dad's high school retail job to get my super soldier serum. Also, like, what did God tell him? Please answer us. Lord, who will we bless today?
Fuck off. I don't care.
Just
I really don't. I say we just do dealer's choice, okay? Fuck it, make a favorite color.
You, young man in the blue shirt.
Our opposing viewpoint in this story comes from some other group of Christians that practice in this AI church. They never make it clear what denomination they actually are, but the pastor does make it very clear that charismatics are not to be trusted.
Granted, before the Bible's complete, God did speak to his people through prophecy and revelation and visions. I mean, you have Joseph's vision, you have Jacob's vision of the ladder, and so forth. But now if someone has a vision that they see comes from God and it's not, then it must be from Satan.
This guy gets a non-stop 3-minute-long sermon warning against the teachings of charismatics using detailed quotes from the Bible that denounce the ideas of it. A 3-minute sermon that, reminder, Donald James Parker wrote. So I just find it entirely ironic that the first thing he does in his movie about defending charismatics is make an airtight argument against charismatics.
As for the cowardly, the faithless, the detestable, as for murderers, the sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, their portion will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death.
Hey, bro.
Sobering words.
Well, that just about covers the base lore of the film, which unfortunately means that it's time to meet the characters. This is Caitlin and her friend Sherry. Sherry is played by a woman named Madison White, but I need to make sure that you don't get her confused later on with Madison White. Anyway, Caitlin is the daughter of this yapper, Pastor Friar, which is kind of redundant and confusing because, like, what are you? Are you a pastor or are you a friar? I think Donald was trying to do something there, but it's not playing, buddy. It's annoying. The guy who got possessed this morning is Brent, and now we find him sitting down at a cafe with his friend Tony, who is, just an absolute hangnail of an actor.
You know, that was a powerful word of you this morning.
Yeah, I know.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Forget about it.
Oh, no, you don't. There's something going through your head. Out with it.
Sorry.
Crazy.
Dude, I promise I won't think
Then I
that.
went to chemistry. That's a freak talk out there,
Do
too.
you need it? Do you think much about having kids? No. It's son's baby.
That was crazy.
Dude, I promise I won't think that.
I think God just told me I was gonna marry that girl.
What? You got the powers of the Holy Spirit, like an empowerment. You need to slow down. I get it. All right, I see where your head is at. You're a fucking freak. But
Yeah, you're a perv. Blame it to God. Remember, God kept hearing that. Ooh. See that? That was full of got back to DJ. Wow. So,
Show me the way.
Why the fuck is he posing on a ladder? Don't forget, these are all perks on top of being literal Jesus Christ. Oh, Andy, how's the website going? You know you've been working on your fan blog website about horses, so people have been wondering about how...
I'm in the hospital after this.
oh God. Yeah, but touch up the poor nurses. You could be that woman. But if he was, I did say, oh, well, they're friendly.
Precise adjustments to your layout.
They're like this, they're nice.
Want an animated element, guys? That's no problem. Okay, you can do it all right there on the page with no use of building blocks. Okay.
They are nice though, aren't they?
Unlimited support and maintenance, no ads or limits. So why not train 12 million users who are successfully growing their businesses right now with Odin? I'm one of them, okay? Without me, it would be 11,999,900.
visited twice a day for 7 years. He died in a Jordan.
I better go find him. What the hell was that?
What makes Donald think he's capable? She was trying to die for using her garden. That's the way. Should have built them a little birds. I said they're not building farms. What's it? So you know, bird bomb is humans, not isn't it? That's what we had different animals instead. Is that go and do cross species bonding? People bring the species that are meant to be against each other together, isn't it? Cats and mice and things like that. You teach compassion. Oh, just a fucking shiny. All as well. But it's even in the show. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Nice egg. He likes egg. What block of raw food there?
Food there. That's what I feed this lot.
What's God back? Imagine him having a go at you.
Jesus, yeah, he just eat you.
Yeah.
And they say that I don't think he's on the sun, that dog got eaten by dogs, like,
He was eaten. Yeah.
Eaten.
It's when he chunks through the bone so easily.
Yes,
puts it gone. Ah, there's your wrist. Ah! That's your hand. Oh my god. So, Bernie, I got to defend the house. Just match up. The thing is, they can't cut bits off you, is it? Takes a long time to take your bones off. When
it's like Benji. What Benji would be like if he was bigger.
Yes.
He was bigger. Like this.
Minute and a half post type point. You tell me.
Friday.
Sure. Friday's good. Where would you want to go?
It's a lot.
Just one. Absolutely. Should I pick you up?
Here.
You heard.
Show me the way.
Also, there's no cops for to let him go. He left the night there. You probably got fingerprints. That would be a great storyline. Usually, speaking of storyline, great transition point. Everyone in the story is this like anti-drug program that a bunch of local churches are putting together. These two turns into which unfortunately is a piece of music for that Donald. But then as Friar starts getting weird and obsessive about Brent and keeps bringing him up as this story he wants to set Caitlin up with, well, little does he know that they're right now. We need to see him take an L, so let's keep our fingers crossed here.
The very first time I saw it, God told me that you're only my wife.
Okay, yeah, you're right, that's insane.
Yeah. John, tell me your mind.
Accompanied by this awful piggy recording song Donald Today, we are not bumping this in 2025.
Oh, yeah, bro. Let me read like that.
Every person on planet Earth knows about the ripping the Band-Aid off analogy. It's clear that Donald is under the impression that as long as you break down every single thing that you talk about in exquisite detail, it makes you sound smarter. Or, I don't know, maybe he thinks it makes him like a better writer because he can write more words. Regardless, you're not getting anything past anyone when it sounds like your actors are popcorn rating.
So you're saying I should just forget her?
No, call her and see if you should forget her. Right now, without any communication, you're just living in a world of imagination that's either overly optimistic or pessimistic. And right now, it looks to me that the pessimism is winning out.
We actually get another taste of the man himself in the next scene where he finally offers Brent the position of youth pastor. Other than the fact that it's an unpaid position that requires his presence multiple nights a week, I'd say the biggest red flag in this scene is the bizarre exchange that they have about little kids.
I already have a job. I don't need any more money.
You shouldn't tip over the
My
tape.
free time already belongs to the Lord. If he wants me
I think it's because the difference is when you go to a Charlie Kirk to start a table, that's what they're trying to emulate. It's not making the question, you know, maybe just name calling. Yeah, see, so I think that's the thing, isn't it?
Saying it like words of aggression.
Yeah. Guess what?
Yeah. We don't do that, do we?
He's also doing it because he's calling her a moron, calling her using the effort. So you use the effort, you know, and then say about. But that's what I'm saying. I think
code for something else.
I don't really think this helps anything because now, on this few
Whatever it all
interactions she's
means,
going to have with the
I'm the
world
one sitting
person,
through the movie right now.
Oh, plus he makes great camera feed from this great doctor.
Feel like all righty people like that, and then next
Can I
time
press charges for the way I'm feeling right now?
Oh no, she's not
going to be in charge of the
No, she's not the Palestinian flag. Oh yeah, what I mean is it's bizarre that he's tipped over the table.
This is going to be
Yeah, he shoves over the table. As soon as you call each other names, they can no longer use that as an excuse. It's like, if you hit them the first time they call you a name,
he's been chosen to lead the youth group. However, things take a turn for the worse.
if it's a left wing game, I'd like, oh fuck off, lost this cool, what the fuck, man, come on, yeah, come on. Yeah, they called you a bit, they called you a name, get up. It's like, that's what I mean, but I think like, if they'd called him the name, then he's looked first. Ken and, his reaction is there. The only time they got him down his back at them, so I go, no, what you mean? He's not something there, your name.
Turn the hearts of the people to God. He is the only one who can stop this runaway train and death. Would you be interested in meeting my daughter?
Oh, hey man, give it a rest. The youth group is actually a somewhat normal group of people, with the exception of this guy whose shirt is buttoned all the way to the top, and this guy whose name is Freddie Cannon.
I'm Freddie Cannon, and I was hoping to meet someone special here.
I'm not going to put you through the 4.5 minutes
There's
of
one woman,
self-righteous,
5 men.
condescending yeah. because it's just the classic setup. A Donald James Parker religious rant, poorly disguised as a movie scene. This happens again in the next scene, more directly when the church board is discussing complaints they've received of the Prince's teaching style for being too harsh. Obviously, this gives Donald's character the opportunity to be the outspoken one in the room, but in true fashion, it's like the worst take of all time.
So like sat round not a full square doing table, but about squares like a U shape. Yeah, she just sat there, just 5 minutes. And all about being there to meet someone special and get dated. And she's the only lady there, she hasn't spoken.
Oh
no, this is a different meeting. Could you imagine that poor college girl? She's so dirty, especially about the meeting that car. No, this is a different meeting. So I looked around and he was super animated. He's like, oh no, if we were talking like that about me and 80 on girls, this is the 60s,
I'm starting to feel like this is all just a wacky attempt to get the general public on board with Christian charismatics so that he can then come out and claim to be one. But it's ironic because, as I said, we're halfway through, and if anything, this movie has continually shown me just how insane these people truly are. So actually, no, I'm not going to sit through the date scene between the youth pastor and his student, because that's not a normal thing to do. No. In fact, the only exchange of substance we get from that scene is Caitlin being like,
yeah, I think I'm really glad that we met, but this situation is so much more complicated than you know.
Well, talk to me so I won't be ignorant.
You're the Irishman that runs boxing gym. It's my children. They are having trouble at school. Complicated than you know.
Well, talk to me so I won't be ignorant.
Can't do it. Not yet, anyway.
what the tell him? This is serious information that plays a major role in your relationship, and you're withholding it seemingly because you think it's cute? See, you know you're bad at writing when your ideas are so unclear that they seem intentionally lazy. A few minutes later, we get a scene post-bike ride between Brent and Pastor Fryer. Does anyone else find it goofy that they were like, biking? I was so taken aback when Brent walked into frame, I thought he was wearing a race car.
You said you like fishing, right? What are you doing this afternoon? Just think about Dallas tomorrow.
I
have nothing else planned for today, so...
He said it's an odd joke. He said it's out here, so I shared it, and he's just, only lying to it.
Are you guys supposed to be like out on the streets and stopping the drug crisis? Talk about that. Also, the son-in-law thing is crazy because they literally already have a son. It's like a 10-second scene at the beginning.
Oh, no, I'd say that would work, wouldn't it?
At the next youth group meeting, Brent is feeling disrespected during his session of song and prayer. So he sits down and goes on an epic 7.5-minute tangent that, once again, I believe was intended to make him look awesome and holy, but actually just makes him look like a complete asshole.
When we're singing like that, we're supposed to be worshiping the creator of the universe.
In the next youth group session... Oh, actually, wait, this happens first.
Caitlin, do you like to hold hands?
In the next youth session... the craziest shit ever happens. They're attempting to initiate something called a revival, which to us is intended to act like a religious nuke. Stay with me. They think that if they pray hard enough, their single session of prayer can initiate a massive wave of good deeds and religious celebration around town for an indefinite amount of time. Of the many questions I personally have about that process, I can't stop coming back to one thought. How hard do you have to pray?
I call you out in the name of Jesus. Right now, I pour with Freddy the blood of the Lamb from the top of his head to the bottoms of his feet.
Imagine walking in on this. I wouldn't want these needle jade in the Trafalgar Square either. I don't believe it's doing. No one's this going on Trafalgar.
Yeah, definitely not. It's becoming increasingly clear that I've spent the past hour of my life watching the conception and spread of a small cult. I feel guilty for watching this. Shit gets pretty nuts though when word about the prayer session gets to Pastor Friars. He starts freaking out and Googles what to do if your child is speaking in tongues. Not sure what he was hoping to find online. That's the shit my parents were probably looking up when my older brother started listening to dubstep in middle school. You know, Skrillex.
He was doing the Google search.
It probably sounded like the devil.
I didn't get the list of results. The thing is, what do I do if my child's speaking in tongues? And that came up. I searched underneath it in school.
This is genuine.
What's the difference between speaking in tongues?
A god thing? No, this is a god thing? No, this is the devil thing. It's like you're possessed or something. We need to do an exorcism.
Oh, so you don't believe in the gifts of the Holy Spirit for today. Get exorcism.
Shut up! Caitlin? You get home, you get your stuff, you get out of my house and out of my life.
Okay, as crazy as it sounds, some of the kids that I went to middle school and high school with actually had parents like this, and it was super scary to witness. I would say that this is probably the most realistic interaction in the movie. Otherwise, super solid delivery on that. Shut up! Brent was really milking that line. I'm glad someone stepped in.
Yeah. So they'll have that experience.
Crazy as hell that you just disowned your daughter, though. Folks, the last 15 minutes of this movie are just the biggest punch in the gut. Donald was the type of guy to make a 1,000-page book, but when you get to page 1,000, the page number changes to 1,000 out of 5,000. But it is the end of the actual physical book, which means that you have to go out and spend more money to acquire the other 4,000 pages. I think that's a pretty good analogy. Anyway, here's what happens immediately after that big argument.
Oh, God. She's gonna crash. Open your eyes, you're driving a car! I know she's looking at the messages! She's gonna crash. She literally just blasphemed as well before she died.
Nothing like a good
My last act
car crash to put
blaspheming.
on a beautiful story.
Wow. Calling him out, blaming him.
Both eyes.
That's
the injury we're going with. I do have to give this film credit for actually having somewhat of a cohesive story. Those familiar with the DJP universe can probably tell you that most of the stories don't have real goals or solid endings. They just exist.
Yeah.
That being said, despite the presence of a story, I'm still unclear on exactly what it is we're trying to prove here. We all know that Brent is going to use his healing powers to save Caitlin's life, thereby converting Pastor Fryer's way of thinking about charismatics. But what ended up happening with this whole drug program? Well, it seems that Donald forgot about it too, because after we get our happy ending, the movie just starts being a collection of speeches by various characters talking about this real-life anti-drug organization called Operation Unite. What in God's name are we doing here, Donald? Did you watch this before it went out? Did you watch this one? I don't think
Donald's
he did.
entire attitude towards acting summed up by one of his actors.
Thanks for watching this. If you enjoyed the video, I would highly encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, bad things are going to happen if you don't do that. Bad things could happen. I'm not going to do them, but they could happen. I'm a little sad because this is the newest DJP film. Obviously, there's more that we can take a look at in the future. Plenty of content.
That's a
Though actually, in a perfect world, he stops making these movies so that people don't have to see them anymore. I think that's the ideal.
He said to me,
and that's probably my final thought that I'll leave you with here. So, until next time, I'm going to do a water drink.
That doesn't sound like very like that. It seems to be a form of paddle or something paddle.
Okay. Now I'm hungry and I go eat.
It might look harsh, but that moss growing on your roof causes serious damage to your home. Moss feeds on the minerals in your roof tile.
But they use
flows.
Not pink compact. The size it's in there. Paddles. So like down it's like I find it baffling that you couldn't see
Ladies,
do that.
Gentlemen,
He's still actually plays tennis.
Allow me to introduce you to the cinematic universe of Donald James Parker. I don't exactly remember how I introduced myself to the DJ universe, but ever since I did, a little under a year ago, I've been unnecessarily captivated. Donald James Parker is an independent filmmaker responsible for an impressive catalog of self-produced works. The only reason they are impressive is because of how bad they suck. These aren't so bad they're good movies. They're so bad. The films all fit the same monotonously divisive structure, simply attempting to echo boomer brain rot narratives in what ultimately just feels like an hour and a half of regurgitated red pill podcast content. If you want to take a closer look at that, feel free to take a look at the other 2 videos I've done on this pooper. Again, with the poop. Despite his downfalls, Donald James Parker, as all great filmmakers do, decided to adapt, and in 2023, he flipped the script with his timely and controversial film, Pickleball Princess. This film proves that even if you take away Trump, Christianity, and the LGBTQ community away from existence, white conservative boomers will still have something to yap about. That's right, Pickleball Princess takes us away from politics and religion to literally just talk about pickleball. It's also marketed as a romantic comedy. Kill me. I've played pickleball before. Not really sure what that does for my image, but I just thought I'd lay all the cards on the table before we start here. This is going to be exhausting, as usual, so I'd suggest grabbing a snack for this one. It's probably going to feel a lot like a standardized test.
I've got a load of banks as well. A bit gentle, so.
Yeah, so right off the bat, you guys are probably going to want to start getting used to this. I know it's just the opening credits, but what if I told you that this is what 35% of the movie looks like? Do you like iPhone footage? We'll get to that in a bit, but in the meantime, have you seen that new movie about being bisexual and playing tennis? Prepare to see the blueprint. I wish I was joking, and when I wrote that joke, I was, but then I watched it back, and I realized I was right. Forgive me for this comparison, please, but we start this film off by meeting our Zendaya of the story, Jenny. She is depressingly eating a frozen dinner while being visited by her daughter. Jenny is depressed due to the death of her husband, but her daughter wants her to get back out there and dating again. However, she's also worried about her own daughter, Penny, who she fears is hanging out with the wrong people. Her solution is that Jenny and Penny should spend more time together, which I suppose in some universes is a decent idea. But if you know anything about these films, you know how annoying and repetitive this setup is. Some fuck-ass boomers thinking that they're the solution to the plight of the youth.
Grandpa, we want to go shoot some hoops. Do you mind? No, not at all. I can catch me a 10-man power nap while you're gone. You guys gotta get busy during your stay. Yeah, sorry. Oh, no, don't be.
Okay, not really sure what's more unbelievable about this scene, the idea that Donald could ever produce an offspring, or the idea that this is supposed to be in a house, or like an apartment? What is this? Look at this next scene where they're in the bathroom. Have you ever seen that paper towel dispenser not in a public facility? I don't know, maybe it is a public facility. But regardless, I'm just confused as to how we got here. Who said, let's sit down and have Keebler fudge stripes and water and weird red-orange sauce on plate? By the way, the kid in the green shirt totally glazes Donald out of nowhere. I guess he did like a backflip off camera or something.
Your food's always this good. I'll definitely come back, even if Gary doesn't want to.
Whoa.
It's my grandpa, not yours.
Look, he can try to convince you otherwise all he wants, but all
you don't
of
want to
these
be around here,
films
Grandpa.
are created for Donald's character to get absolutely stroked. Not only by the people around him, but by society as a whole. In the last film I covered, he got expelled from a community college for being a radical Christian and was greeted by a celebratory crowd of strangers on the way out. We can say all we want about the guy, but look, in his world, he pulls it off every time. That bathroom scene I showed you before is the two kids making fun of pickleball simply based on the fact that they have no idea what it is. And you can tell right here that Donald has a very, very clear voice as a writer. Once you hear him talk once, you can hear his voice through every single character he writes.
What the heck was that basketball court? Yeah,
Literally, that guy didn't know
looked like miniature tennis or something. Or
biology. Yeah, with the
sounded
size
like a
there.
shooting gallery.
That's a fact.
Yeah, a popcorn gallery.
No one that age talks like that. When is the last time you heard a 17-year-old reference a shooting gallery? Usually when kids that look like that talk like this in a bathroom, you call security.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And someone probably should, because these kids are so frustrated by this unknown sport that they decide to harass the woman working the front desk for answers.
What were those guys playing in their hands?
Although,
Pickleball. But like still pickleball?
Literally, yes. Like, fastest growing sport in America, though.
Yeah, I think you messed that line up. Once again, unless I'm totally wrong, I'm going to assume that this is like the senior community center that Donald is a part of, which is concerning because they let him film inside. And that fact alone lets me know that they did zero research on Donald.
oh, I'm seeing he's got the old stuff on this where he puts some physical together with like the two film phenomenon. That's why it looks so good, just like part of the picture of this. It's really good.
The Christmas lights until January.
Alone lets me know that they did zero research on Donald.
What are you staring at, honey? Nothing, Grandma.
It's a bit of a grandmother.
I was 17 once too.
God. It's just so weird, dude. Every goddamn old person in these movies is so unbelievably horny, and it sucks. The last movie was the worst one. There was this professor that was so into Donald's character that she got wine drunk and then tried to pounce on him. Once again, written by Donald. I hate to keep harping on his other films, but it is so important that you understand just how wildly similar they are. We are talking about a 9-year difference between Gramps Goes to College and Pickleball Princess, and there is hardly an ounce of quality improvement.
By the way, did you see those guys in the gym earlier?
Did you see what they were doing? They were hitting a ball around and laughing. Looked like they were having a lot of fun.
For whatever reason, Donald is having his characters discuss pickleball like a bunch of Amish children who just caught a glimpse of the outside world.
I saw the stickball game. It's nothing like all the things nothing.
They were having fun.
They pull up to the park in this really nice-looking BMW, so my first thought was, obviously this can't be Donald's car. But then I looked at the scene again, and I realized that Donald isn't even the one driving. Alright, by the way, I haven't pointed this out yet, but Donald's character's name is Thomas, for whatever reason.
And what are those?
I forgot. You don't buy this, I promise you.
More pickleball courts?
Did you?
These were here a couple months ago.
You get back to
Inconceivable. It's almost like pickleball's trying to apply a ranger chokehold to tennis.
Oh yeah, he was already killed his pull every
Right
game
now
to
is
stroke
the
his
raspberry seed of my wisdom tooth.
Shut the fuck up. His writing structure is potentially the most abhorrent thing to listen to.
Oh, okay, you can't do that.
Inconceivable.
Make highly biased and off-base statement.
Almost like pickleball's trying to apply a ranger chokehold to tennis.
Metaphor.
Right now it's the raspberry seed of my wisdom
Oh,
tooth.
yeah.
It seems to be his way of tying up
He's
lazy
whatever.
writing. I think he's under the impression that you can make anything sound intelligent if you just slap a dated analogy.
baby.
Pour the pickle seed in your wisdom tooth.
It's like,
Dude, what
That
you
was
were
such a
doing
sound
there?
I tried to put another, I tried to
No,
like
it's a
even
long
the
walk.
a little bit and I'm straight.
43 miles, exactly.
Because at first I only felt a bit straight.
Then I'd be in a real pit.
Jeez.
Ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure I made this clear earlier, but the Challengers dynamic is not between these three characters. No, it's actually much worse than that. Thomas's grandson tells him that maybe he should play pickleball because
A lot of the players are senior citizens like yourself, and
So if I just want to drive-bys in this movie, I mean, so I'm sitting here, I'm making breakfast and drive-bys. There you are. So I didn't just drive by the kid, you need to drive by the granddad and your grandson hates you, but how come? It's been close. Wide. Fuck stone. Love it. Fuck stone. Yeah, bro.
I have found a replacement activity that gives me the same.
It's a surgeon, so from your doctor, yeah. Yeah. I'm close Professor, okay.
So you're going to be a drama queen, huh? Hey.
Show me the way.
Let's put a female battle!
See what you can find.
That's not black sage. You say black sage? Not black sage. It's James Cagney. It's James Cagney. You killed my brother, you dirty rat. It's a fat white guy. I think he's Italian. I mean, I may be saying he may not say black sage, but it's James Cagney. Dirty rat. Those kind of movies. May not be James Cagney himself, but he's just off gangster movies and times of various white huge shit like that. It is dirty. Baby dogs. Yeah. Wow. Oh.
Spicy because it's all the main characters. What's this lady with the green shirt guy? His name is David, by the way. There's one line delivery at the beginning of the game, though, which is so goddamn good. Is round. A volley is when you hit the ball over the walls. A wheelie is why can't you people get that straight?
Okay. Have some rules there.
Like hell, but not in the typical sense. Everything is just